I have a confession to make. I think chocolate tiramisu might be my all-time favorite dessert. Move over red velvet cupcakes because this is just phenomenal. It's basically coffee-soaked sponge finger biscuits with rich mascarpone whipped cream, and my little trick is my chocolate pastry cream on top. It makes this dessert just, it's incredible. Hey guys, I'm Nick, and today I'm going to show you how to make something that was actually my first ever recipe on this channel, chocolate tiramisu. Let's get stuck into this incredible recipe. Let's begin with that mascarpone whipped cream. Now, yes, we are using raw egg yolks in this recipe. You can use raw egg yolks, it's generally okay, but if you don't feel okay with that, you can use pasteurized eggs, which are gently cooked. You want to add some caster sugar into your bowl along with vanilla extract, and you're going to whip this for about 3 minutes on high speed until it's really pale and thick and glossy. Now, this recipe is over on my website, scranline.com. To a separate bowl, you're going to add some cold, heavy cream and mascarpone. Now, if you don't know what mascarpone is, it's an Italian cheese, kind of similar in flavor and texture to like cream cheese and sour cream. You're going to whip these until you reach stiff peaks. Pour your egg mixture into your whipped cream and fold this through gently. Set it aside in the fridge, and we're going to move on to making our coffee syrup. This is really easy. Now, I make mine a little bit differently. So we're going to be adding some instant coffee powder, some sugar, boiling water, mix that up. Then you want to add a little bit of frangelico. This is optional. Traditionally, you use rum in this recipe. I don't like the flavor of rum. I really love frangelico, but if you don't want to use alcohol at all, just leave it out. Pour some milk in there, which is going to add a little bit of creaminess to your sponge finger biscuits. And today I'm going to be using a 9 by 13 inch cake tin, which is 2 inches high. Now, here's a little trick. Add a little bit of that mascarpone cream on the bottom first before you begin anything, because it's going to make taking this out later once it's set so much easier. So just a very thin layer of that mascarpone cream. Then you're going to dip your lady finger biscuits or sponge finger biscuits into that coffee mixture twice. You don't want to use super soft sponge finger biscuits because otherwise this just gets like really soggy. But if you do use those, just dip them once. And now one side of your sponge finger has sugar and the other one doesn't. So you want to have sugar side down when you're laying these. So lay a layer of these on. Depending on how big your sponge finger biscuits are, you might need to cut some just to get everything kind of covered. Then you're going to add the rest of your mascarpone whipped cream. Spread that nice and evenly and flat. Dust a little bit of cocoa powder, because when you add the next layer of soaked sponge fingers, the drip that comes out of those sponge fingers is going to meld into that cocoa and create kind of an extra bonus chocolate layer. Now, the recipe for my chocolate pastry cream is on the scranline.com. You want to make this the day before to let it set before you use it. You can't use this warm in this dessert. So once you've made it and set it, you can add it on top of your tiramisu, add a final dusting of cocoa powder. Guys, this has to sit in the fridge for at least 4 hours to set. Overnight is even better, and if you make a dessert like this that you want to take to a party or Christmas or Easter, you can actually make it in a kind of container that has a lid. Really easy to transport and really easy to serve. Now, this has set in the fridge overnight. I find that if it sets overnight, it sets so much better. Slice it up using a large knife, and then here's the trick. Getting a nice clean piece of like tiramisu or lasagna or whatever it is that you're making in one of these tins, the first slice is never going to look good, but the second slice is going to look great because you've got a little bit of space to put that spatula in. And speaking of spatulas, you want to use a bendy one, like a silicone one. Those are the best ones to use if you have them. If you want to grab the recipe for this delicious tiramisu, it's on my website, scranline.com. Now, you might have seen most recipes have a lot more cream than mine does. This actually deceivingly does have a lot of cream, but it just doesn't look like it. But when you bite into this, guys, or kind of put your spoon through it, it's incredible. Trust me, so good. Try this recipe. You'll thank me later. Anyway, hope you guys have a lovely day. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line. Bye. And the flavors of a tiramisu, or a traditional one, are coffee and chocolate. And in this one, I'm going to put cream on top, so you still get the cream out there. And yeah, so it's still got the flavors in there, but it's nice and chocolatey. So it's a really nice dessert to make if you want to impress someone. So now I can feel that it's starting to thicken at the bottom, so we need to keep stirring this.